So what we've all been suspecting for finally happened, and that is Giannis Antetokounmpo finally requesting for a trade out of Milwaukee Bucks. And it is said that Milwaukee is not in a rush and that they are willing to wait until the offseason to ship out Giannis. But we all know the suspecting teams, mostly the East teams in Miami Heat, Raptors, maybe Hawks, Bulls, whoever. But one team that I think should trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, which sounds really crazy, is the OKC Thunder. Now, that doesn't really sound like an OKC Thunder kind of move because we've what we've seen, they like to trade their maybe aging stars to get more draft picks. They're good players to get a lot of draft picks, and they want to build around draft in they want to build around the draft. And they've been acquiring all of these draft picks that they now have a really good team with really good young players, and they have a big three of SGA, Chet, and Jalen Williams. And I think their thinking is that it's easier to build a team around those three players because they know that those three are already good and they are capable of winning multiple championships maybe, but they have so much draft picks that it's almost gambling those draft picks away and just drafting a bunch of players that who knows what they're gonna become, and just keeping the ones that are gonna be great or are gonna be really good players. But it's not easy for players to thrive in a system with so many players, with so many already good players. You have to acquire known or players that already know their identity in the league. That's what you did with Alex Caruso and Hartenstein. They already know their roles in the league. And if you keep getting these guys from the draft, it's a waste. It's a waste of selection. So why not just trade all those picks that you don't need and acquire an MVP caliber player in Giannis Antetokounmpo? And you know, I think it will be really hard for other teams to kind of match the offer that the Thunder are willing. I'm not sure they are honestly willing to give up those picks, but they are. It will be hard for other teams to match what OKC is capable of giving up because they have a lot of draft picks. They have good young guys that have produced in their system, which would look really good for Milwaukee in acquiring those guys. I think they should. I really think they should make this trade. Not that they really need to make this trade, but they also don't need all those draft picks. And you have, in my opinion, you have to trade for a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have to trade all those picks for somebody because you already know that you can get value in maybe in two-way contract players like AJ Mitchell, and low value like second round players. I think Aaron Wiggins is second round, right? So all those first rounders are just a waste of draft selections when you know that your big three is gonna be in there for we're gonna give you good production in a decade at least. So why not solidify your team with with adding an MVP caliber like Giannis Antetokounmpo and become a super team? Now I'm not saying that I would want this to happen because I don't want another super team like the Warriors when they had KD. So, but all I'm saying is if I am my GM in 2K for the OKC Thunder and I want to win multiple championships, I will do this trade because if they have Giannis, I think they'll be unbeatable. SGA and Giannis combo, efficiency of SGA in the mid-range and the outside, and the efficiency of Giannis and unstoppable force of Giannis in the paint, offense and defensively. It's unbeatable, I think. So that's just what I found really in trying to make looking for what teams are gonna be able to, or who are the teams that are gonna be able to trade for Giannis, and then I just saw OKC on the top of it. Then they were very. I'm not really sure that both teams also are gonna be wanting to do this trade because one, OKC love their draft picks, and two, I don't know any team in the leagues. I don't know any team in the league that are willing to make OKC even more unbeatable than than what they already looked like before the recent losses. So as that was just my thinking. I know it's gonna be impossible to happen. It's gonna be impossible to happen, but I think the OKC should do it.